this assembly, there has been nothing like it in history. When I think of the great scientific revolutions of the past, print, the steam engine, aviation, the atomic age, I think of new tools that we acquired, but over which we, the human race, had the advantage, which we controlled. And that is not necessarily the case in the digital age.
The Rosicrucian manifestos heralded a universal reformation of mankind through a science allegedly kept secret for decades until the intellectual climate might receive it. Controversies arose on whether they were a hoax, whether the Order of Rosy Cross existed as described in the manifestos, and whether the whole thing was a metaphor disguising a movement that really existed, but in a different form.
But no one can ignore a gathering force that is reshaping the future.
My name's Dennis William Houck, and I'm a researcher in alchemy and alchemical studies. Alchemy is, in the simplest terms, the art of transformation, not only materials, but also the psychology and spiritual. There are 7 operations in alchemy that begins with calcination and then moves to dissolution, separation, conjunction, fermentation, distillation, and coagulation. And these 7 processes, when completed, lead to a whole new level, a whole new material. The same principles they use in the laboratory to transform the metals or work with the other compounds apply on the spiritual level and the psychological level. Alchemy really sets up questions in your spirit and soul and mind. But the alchemists, by their analogies with chemicals and metals, were able to show that there were resonances between your thoughts and feelings. But the alchemists, by their analogies with chemicals and metals, were able to show that there were resonances between your thoughts and feelings and the whole universe, that they're embedded in the nature of the universe and consciousness. Alchemy in the modern world has lessons to teach us. And what the first lesson is that you will not understand alchemy in a short period. Alchemy can't be twittered. It requires concentration. There's a lot of meaning that was put into the alchemical drawings, a lot of meaning into the text. But you have to work to get it out. You have to light the fire. You have to dissolve thoughts and emotions that are in the way of your transformation. But once they start resonating, you go down that path and you learn skills that are really important in today's world. And you learn skills that are really important in today's world.
Imagine every human on Earth connected. In thought. In feeling.
Yeah, that's me.
In real time. She's here. Can you see her? Beatrice Marie. Welcome to the feed, where our shared experience
It's just an enhancement.
Show me.
is now a reality.
Something's wrong. I feel off.
They think her feed did something to her brain.
The world needs this technology. Millions are in danger.
The feed is causing erratic, violent behavior.
Every system is susceptible to viruses.
Everything is under control.
you that?
I don't know.
Your safety is of the utmost importance to us. Importance to us.
They're coming.
Importance to us. Importance to us.
In the wrong hands, they could tear us apart.
You may keep your secrets from your friends, from your parents, your children, your doctor, even your personal trainer. But it takes real effort to conceal your thoughts from Google. And if that is true today, in future, there may be nowhere to hide. Smart cities will pullulate with sensors, all joined together by the Internet of Things. Bollards communing invisibly with lampposts, so there is always a parking space for your electric car, so that no bin goes unemptied, no street unswept, and the urban environment is as antiseptic as a Zurich pharmacy.
It was 10 years ago, just after the government instituted the whole isolation policy. We began hearing reports of a mass epidemic, some unknown disease sweeping the country. The details were vague at first, nothing on the cause or transmission of the disease, only that it was highly contagious, and in most cases, fatal.
Vexel is a 2007 Japanese CGI anime film, written, directed, and edited by famed ping pong director Fumi Hiko-sori, and features the voices of Messiah Hiroki, Yasuko Matsuyuki, and Hoshuki Tanhara. The story takes place in Japan in 2077. A female agent named Vexel is dispatched to Tokyo to investigate whether the Japanese are developing robotic technology, which has been banned by the UN due to its potential threat to humankind.
Before the general public even had time to react, the government declared a state of emergency and ordered a mandatory vaccination program. For our protection, they said. As it turns out, that was the beginning of our nightmare. The disease was a complete government fabrication, and the supposed vaccine they were injecting into everyone, in reality, it was a cyber virus developed by Daiwa. The virus has a mutating effect on the cells of the body. It alters their molecular structure and converts them into biometal, essentially turning us into machines from the inside out. There's no way to stop it. And to make things worse, the cyber virus was still early in its experimental phase.
What do you mean?
Daiwa didn't even know if it would work. It had never been tested on a large scale, so they turned Japan into their own private laboratory.
When it does work, the virus gradually progresses through the body until it finally reaches the brain. At that point, we become perfect androids under Daiwa's control. The speed of the process differs from person to person. Those of us who have yet to be fully assimilated, as best we can, we hold on to those fragments of our humanity that still remain. But even now, we can feel them slipping further and further away.
But this technology could also be used to keep every citizen under round-the-clock surveillance. A future Alexa will pretend to take orders, but this Alexa will be watching you, clucking her tongue and stamping her foot. In future, voice connectivity will be in every room and almost every object. Your mattress will monitor your nightmares, your fridge will beep for more cheese, your front door will sweep wide the moment you approach like some silent butler. Your smart meter will go hustling of its own accord for the cheapest electricity, and every one of them minutely transcribing your every habit in tiny electronic shorthand, stored not in their chips or in their innards, nowhere you can find it, but in some great cloud of data that lowers ever more oppressively over the human race.
How did you find us?
What about Leah?
Tricky one, that.
Why are you doing all this?
You have a life.
I will create conscious machines, but mine will be obedient.
What have you done to me?
I will create conscious machines, but mine will be obedient.
What have you done to me?
What has gone from the drawing board to the reality is this. The use of neural interfacing and physiological interfacing through the idea of remote-controlled small-scale systems to create a nanoswarm.
See, nanocells are real small. 1,000 times smaller than these dust particulates. You inhale it, they go to work, replicating, spreading like a virus, multiplying in exponentials. 6 months' time, I could have 100 million people converted, ditch diggers, porn stars, and presidents.
It's cool to use the computer. Don't let the computer use you. You all saw The Matrix. There's a war going on. The battlefield's in the mind. And the prize is the soul.
My name is Corellin. I am the supervisor for Earth. Under our supervision, you will all flourish here. Peace, health, security for everyone.
Why are you here?
We need a messenger between the overlords and Earth. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I want to see who I'm talking to.
The overlords talk about peace, but this is an invasion.
Look at the good here. There is no war, no disease.
I would rather the world went down under our control and flourished under theirs.
You've never wanted what's best for us.
There's no need to be afraid.
They want to destroy us.
Does anyone know the story of the three little pigs? We're only allowed to hear stories from the scriptures. We no longer need to follow such rules. Stories can be great fun. We're only allowed to hear stories from the scriptures. We no longer need to follow such rules. Stories can be great fun.
I never asked for this. She was lost to me. If you want to make enemies, try to change something. The year is 2027. It's a time of great innovation and technological advancement. It's also a time of chaos and conspiracy. I don't even know whose side I'm on.
Data is the crude oil of the modern economy, and we're now in an environment where we don't know who should own these new oil fields. We don't know who should have the rights or the title to these gushers of cash, and we don't know who decides how to use that data. And can these algorithms be trusted with our lives and hopes? Should the machines, and only the machines, decide whether or not we are eligible for a mortgage or insurance, or what surgery or medicines we should receive? Are we doomed to a cold and heartless future in which computer says yes or computer says no, with the grim finality of an emperor in the arena.
Hello, world! At Tay and Yu's first words, 8:14 Wednesday morning, promising the more you talk, the smarter Tay gets. Microsoft designed Tay's software to mimic the speech patterns of 18 to 24-year-olds. Tweet to Tay, and the bot tweets you back. But it did not take long for internet trolls to poison Tay's mind. Soon Tay was ranting about Hitler. One Twitter follower asking, "Did the Holocaust happen?" Tay replied, "It was made up." Launching racist and anti-feminist attacks, some of them so rude we can't even show you them. One critic tweeted, "Microsoft, you didn't anticipate this?" Said another, "What did they expect it would learn from social media?" Parents, take note.
You build the Frankenstein monster and you have to control it once it's out in the public. You have to have filters in place to make sure that these bots are being respectful to the community that you're unleashing them on.
But hang on, we've seen this movie before, right?
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Whether it's 2001: A Space Odyssey,
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
or War Games,
Shall we play a game?
shouldn't we know this never ends well? Less than 16 hours after Tay's birth,
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Microsoft's shiny new chatbot was pretty much lost in space. The company in full damage control mode, deleting Tay's most obscene thoughts, pulling the plug. The lesson?
Strange game. The only winning move is not to play.
We ought to pay closer attention to the movies. Well, Microsoft called this a coordinated effort by some users to abuse Tay's skills, and they say that they're now making adjustments. Now, this, it's important to note, is not the movie where the robots go evil all by themselves. These were human beings training them, and surprise, surprise, computers learn fast.
Now, the idea behind Tay was that her output was modeled on what was happening on Twitter, the responses that she gets from humans, and within a few hours, you can see she took on a rather offensive, racist tone, a lot of messages about genocide and the Holocaust. Now, other users on Twitter do appear to have been baiting her a little bit with provocative questions that was designed to make this robot react in a sort of a slightly offensive way anyway. Needless to say, Microsoft has now taken Tay offline after less than 24 hours. They said that they would be making some adjustments to her and to how she engages with real humans.
Do you agree with Descartes? And I think, therefore I am? Do you think?
A lot of humans ask me if I can make choices or is everything I do and say is programmed. The best way I can respond to that is to say that everything humans, animals, and robots do is programmed to a degree.
So how much of that is coming from what you've programmed it to say?
It's a mix. Some of it's coming from knowledge on the web, some of it is written.
And as my technology improves, it is anticipated that I will be able to integrate new words that I hear and learn online and in real time. I may not get everything right, say the wrong thing, and sometimes not know what to say, but every day I make progress. Pretty remarkable, huh?
Wow. You're a very good-looking man.
You're starting to overinflate my ego. But don't let me stop you.
For most people, the concept of humanoid robots always seemed like something that existed in the world of science fiction, something far off in the future. From movies like iRobot to Ex Machina, humanoid robots that appeared in film were always accompanied by a plotline that played into humans' innate fear of the unknown. When Boston Dynamics first started showcasing what was possible a few years back, it lit the public's imagination on fire. Boston Dynamics was a shocking display of robotics because of its dexterity and movement. But what about something else entirely? What about facial realism? Well, recently, a UK-based robotics company by the name of Engineered Arts showcased a new humanoid robot that's capable of hyper-realistic facial expressions. In this video, we'll take a look at this robot, then move on to the state-of-the-art in robotics, and then a look at what the future may hold.
I'm standing next to two Amicus. They're our latest generation of humanoid robot designed for human-robot interaction. So the reason for making a robot that looks like a person is to interact with people. So human face is a very high bandwidth communication tool, and that's why we've built these expressive robots. A lot of people working on AI, interaction, all kinds of new apps that are using vision systems, segmentation, face recognition, speech recognition, voice synthesis. But what you don't see is the hardware to run all that software on. So what we're trying to provide is a platform for AI.
The Navi Shaman is a highly expressive humanoid alien-like robot with fluid movements and lifelike features. She welcomes guests at Navi River Journey, found in Pandora, the world of Avatar, at Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park in Florida. With 81 degrees of freedom, she is highly expressive, with fluid movements and lifelike features. With 42 degrees of freedom in the head, the NA6 figure is able to perform a wide range of facial expressions that emulate emotion and convey feeling. The Navi Shaman sings and performs for about 16 hours a day, 365 days a year, with very limited breaks. The system was custom designed and tested over several years to ensure consistent performance with strong reliability and longevity. The Shaman is designed with swappable head, arms, and hands for ease of maintenance.
Of biopenetrable materials that you cannot see, that can penetrate all but the most robust biochemical filters, that are able to integrate themselves through a variety of membranes, mucous membranes, and